Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Spiritual Ranch. Welcome to our channel. My name is Shesh Shesh Not Not Noehe. That is she who whispers loudly with a sharpened tongue. And I'm the off-grid oracle, right? In the OGO, over here on the other side of the mountain. So welcome to the other side of the mountain, right? Things have been serious, but of course they are. Anytime you're trying to finish a masterpiece, you're putting in final strokes on. You gotta make sure you're paying really good attention, right? Because you don't want to go and fuck up the whole thing like I probably just did, but who cares? I'm gonna post it anyways. We're gonna put out a lot of these. I'll keep it short, I guess. Maybe I can just let my tongue fly now. I already blew it in the first 5 minutes, right? And so maybe you're feeling like you're in that kind of energy. And that's a little bit of that Knight of Wands, right? Knight of Wands in the reverse energy, kind of whatever, right? Moving too hot, come in and screw up everything, right? That you've been trying to create in your divine energy. We've been talking about that. But I talked to a collective who is starting to learn from these mistakes. And so anyhow, we're gonna go ahead and do a read here. We're gonna check in with the energies and we want to thank Mother and Father God, for everything that they do, and we want to thank you for joining us. And we want to thank Spirit for joining us. And so we're going to ask Mother and Father God that they lead, guide, and direct us. Always we're going to ask that they lead, guide, and direct our Spirit team safely, so that they can deliver this message in the manner that it needs to be received onto those of the collective that need to receive it. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to ask their Spirit team what our Spirit team needs to know, because we can do that. Right? All right. So that's what we're gonna do, you guys. The energies have been, we'll see, we'll see. We do channel messages, and so it's like with the channel message, with that energy of that Knight of Wands, and the reverse is kind of in there, out there. But that's also a regretful energy for for maybe being too hasty, about certain things as well. So, and we've all been through that. But the thing is that we have to put that away, that energy away. And so we're going to ask their team what we need to know so that we can heal, right? Because we're seeking healing. And so it's like when we go to their Spirit team for a message, we're seeking advice from them that is in alignment with how, like, the best approach to assist them, whoever they are. And so from our energy, we want to know how to help them. We're not trying to figure out how to deceive or any of that. We're going to allow God to lead, guide, and direct. And so God also lead, guides, and directs their Spirit team. And so they can all have a little collaboration right now. And our Spirit teams knows what's best for us, for sure. Yeah, we trust them. And so we definitely trust them to be able to speak for us. And so we're good to go. So it don't matter whatsoever, even if the other, whoever they are, it's like, just hopefully all their team can do is assist God and how they lead, guide, and direct them as well. And so that's all we're trying to do here. And if we do that with a very open and loving heart, that has everybody, the best interest of everybody involved, and the golden rule, it's like, well, no, because this is how I want to be treated too. Then we'll receive a message that helps deliver us out of any kind of situation that we're in. That's how we talk to Spirit. That's how we use our spiritual liaisons, our spiritual team. They could be a great mediation. They could do. They could be a great mediator. They could do excellent mediation work when we allow them to come into our lives and work in that manner. And that's all, like, a spiritual teacher, a spiritual healer, like we're trying to learn how to be, is a person who knows how, or an individual who can channel those energies properly in a way that is healing towards the masses, and teaches the masses to how to heal with the Eight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. And so yes, and the Wheel of Fortune. And so yeah, we have a calling on our life right now, and we've been activated. It's like, we've been putting in an application for a long time, or at least feeling like we've been putting in an application, and we've been activated right now. And so their spirit team is like telling our spirit team, right, that with that, because like, hey, with that Eight of Pentacles, right? So we had the Eight of Pentacles on the break with the Wheel of Fortune. That Wheel of Fortune won't stay in the deck. Either will that Eight of Pentacles. Like those both are like really coming out, because that's the what their spirit team is telling our spirit team is that even though things might still seem really karmic, you know, there's like a lot of karmic energy in the situation that is giving the unnerving feeling of their like not being being something that we don't know. And so like their spirit team saying, if you feel like there's something you don't know, understand that that there's karma being worked out, you know. And so it's like the Eight of Pentacles with the karmic wheel is that they're okay. So it's like the whoever we are inquiring, our spirit team is asking their spirit team. Okay, so for you, whoever you're dealing with, they are still dealing with some karma that they are working on. That's what their spirit team is saying. It's like, well, they're working on it. And the karmic wheel came out on the top, you know, and so did the Eight of Pentacles. And so that's saying that the work that they're doing on, yeah, see, and then we had the Seven of Swords here on the bottom of the deck, but in the reverse, okay? And so their spirit team is saying that the work, what they're telling me is right now, okay, is that the work you've been doing has really opened the eyes of whoever it is that you're inquiring on, okay? Because you've been working hard, but on yourself. You know, you've been getting a lot of growth. You've really stepped away from the aspects of your ego that have been holding you back, like I was talking about in that Knight of Wands energy, right? In the reverse, you let go of that childish shit right now, you know, and you've really kind of stepped up on top of that karmic wheel, you know, as a good example, right? And so it's like the position that you're in because you've been really able to work hard on your house. And that's a theme that we talk about here on these reads. You worked very hard on your house. When God came in and said, man, this place looks shabby, I'm going to send a crew down to clean that shit up for you. You didn't take that in a way that you're like, oh, see, look what God did for me. God loves me. You're like, oh, damn. God is like really displeased with the way that my house looks. So I need to start cleaning house here because I can't live in a place that I can't just freely open the door up and let God come walking on in. And I can't look like I'm just some little bitch who can't take care of their own shit. And so God has to come and do it for me. You know, it's like you stepped into that energy when you had to heal on that wheel, when you knew that you had a lot of shit that you had to take care of on your own, that you should responsibly, to be responsible for it, to be accountable for it, you would take care of it on your own, right? Well, when God started to help you do that, that activated you, you know, and you did a huge portion of that work and cleaned house. And that made you in a position where people seeing you really shed a lot of the ways that was causing you grief and harm and everything like that in the past, you know? And so their spirit team is telling you right now that whoever it is that you're inquiring back about, they see that like big time. They see that. But they're also kind of stuck right now is what their spirit energy team is saying, and an energy where they're struggling like making those final moves themselves, you know. And so it's like that bit of growth that they need to do to meet you on that same playing field right now is what their spirit team, because their spirit team is telling me, us, that my team, that they really like you. They like your team. They like working with your team. Your team is easy to communicate, very easy to communicate. But who you're communicating with is also giving them grievances. And so it's like their spirit team is telling your spirit team that the work you're doing, they admire it, is what your spirit team's telling you right now. They admire it. But they can't guarantee that the ones that you are concerned, that you have a connection with, that you feel you want to strengthen, that is not being strengthened because of like interpersonal traumas. It's like not even necessarily like conflict between the two individuals, you and that person. It's the inner conflict that has been that this individual is going through, is what their spirit team is saying. It's like they're in their own head, they're in their own conflict, where you're standing very, very, very grounded and really solid in the work that you're doing, and you're doing that work on yourself. And that's how we transcend off of that wheel, you know. And so keep doing it. It's like you're an example, And so, but what God's telling me, right? And so, what God is telling me is keep doing it. You're an example, but you have to keep doing it regardless. So, God kind of just bopped into this conversation because they want you to know it's like God's telling you, like, yeah, their spirit team is telling us, because, like, yes, their spirit team, they love us. Their spirit team loves us. Their spirit team's rooting for our spirit team, okay? God is rooting for both, but they really want us to be aware of the fact that we can't go back, in any kind of way that's going to take us off from or away from our path, right? Because we've done the healing. And so it's like to heal, to teach everybody how to heal, we have to understand, because see, with that Seven of Swords, and so their spirit team is saying, because now God intervened, right? This is the way the spirit world works, man. When God intervened, so God stepped in too, and the spirit team's like, yeah, there's lies, okay? And so there is some deceit, there is some lies. Um, they say actually quite a bit of it, But again, what their spirit team is saying is that, again, they're lying to themselves, okay? And so, like, those lies, um, God didn't intervene. God says, all you motherfuckers lie to yourself. That's what God just said. God said, all you motherfuckers lie to yourselves. It's time y'all wake up, and really see the truth. And so those of us who are swords of truth are no longer gonna lie to ourselves. Okay. And so that I just said right there, their spirit team gave us a fuck yeah. Okay. Their spirit team said fuck yeah. Okay. Because that doesn't get them in trouble, It's like right. And so you gotta be aware of the fact that, like, when you're dealing with somebody who is lying to themselves, right? Um, it's impossible to say what the truth is. It really is, and that's where, and oftentimes, 9 out of 10 times, and this is wisdom from the OGO. When we're lying to ourselves, that's when we become very argumentative, And so it's like when we're no longer argumentative, that's because we're really grounded in our truth, And so we don't have to work so hard to represent it, And so that's just my wisdom, OGO's wisdom, when dealing with an individual right now, like you're dealing with, concerning how their spirit team is telling us that that they're having a struggle understanding who and what they are, And so it's not even like it's narcissistic energy, because it's on the reverse, like that Five of Swords came out in the reverse, And so, and honestly, like I always do say, like with this card in the reverse, it is that narcissistic energy, but like I don't look at it like we're trying to heal here, And so that's like a narcissistic energy that now is gone into reversal, which is like they got sat on their ass enough, basically, to have some self-reflection, to start having some self-reflection. Okay. And that's kind of what these guys are saying. That's what their spirit team says. Yes, that's what's happening, is that it's a period of self-reflection that's going to be hard for somebody who hasn't really had to take accountability a whole lot in their lives before. That's what their spirit team says. And like their spirit team saying too that is not an excuse, and that's what they're really trying to teach that individual as well. And that's why they say that they really appreciate what you are doing in that person's life, no matter how, no matter what. And that's why God intervened, because it's kind of selfish, and their spirit team knows that, they're asking us to kind of do a lot, but they can't guarantee a lot in return. They want to heal their person, you know what I'm saying? They want to heal their empire, because the empire that they live in, that they exist in, exists within the individual who you're acquiring about, And so the empire, like their countries or their wherever they're at, is chaos, like there's war on the streets. It's like the same vision of like what we have here on this earth today, right? But that's what's going on inside that individual. That's the chaos that's inside them, and the spiritual empire that they rule, And so it's like we're trying to reach in now, and these guys, they got to go behind enemy lines to deliver these messages, It's because it's like the person you're inquiring about, they're surrounded right now by spiritual energies that are not working for them. They're working against them, and they're trying to block the spiritual energies that are the liaisons that we're acquiring for, because we're coming at them from a place of love and from freedom. We're trying to free them from that prison that they're in their own empire, where they've been imprisoned. Because they can't manifest on the outside of them the same love that we can show them how to, because our kingdoms are in more balance now, You know, we have a neutrality in our kingdom. You know, we stand in an abundant kingdom that's strong and powerful and healthy and good. You know, and stands on truth and stands with God. And so we have to look at all individuals in our world like that today that we're dealing with. We have to understand that that's what's going on. And if you want to be a spiritual leader and you want to work with the forces that most right now only the real dark individuals are using because they're using them so powerfully against us, you know. And so we got to learn how to navigate through that shit right now and free people from that, which has enslaved them, you know. And so like this is a personal read or a collective personal read, right? Like a collective read about the person that you're inquiring, you know, that's in your head, be it whoever, you know. Um, and so that message applies. Right? And keep doing the work. You're doing a really good job. You've tapped into your soul phone, you know. You're using your soul phone now, and so it's like I'm gonna teach you how to use your soul phone even better, you know. And you could create a fucking contacts list in there that could really help you get all the information that you need in order to ensure that your kingdom is fully aware, fully in balance. Excuse me, that was a confirmation loogie. Disgusting. Sorry, I forgot I was on YouTube right now. I usually just sit around and talk to the tree in front of me. Usually, usually, trees don't lie to you, you know. And if you're not lying to yourself, then the conversation with that tree most likely would be the most truthful conversation you've ever had in your life. Six of Wands, most likely. Welcome to the new world, you guys. You know, we got to do something here. You know, we got to. And so we're gonna ask their spirit team if there's anything else we need to know. And that 6-1 still on bottom deck. I mean, it's a pretty clear message, right? It really is honest message. The main part of this message is that we have we're honest with ourselves, you know, and that's the main thing, you know, and that's what and their spirit team is saying too that we know the truth. That honestly, they're saying right now, they're telling me we know the truth. We know the truth. That we know the truth. We really do better. We don't know all the details. There's a lot of like there's a lot of things that like don't that it's just it's impossible either way. You know, it's like if they say if we're overthinking, we need to be working on us and not overthinking trying to figure it out because what we know already is close enough to the narrative that it doesn't matter, you know. And so like if this is a person who you're really trying to reconcile with, or like whatever you have to reconcile with, you need to just like be able to reconcile with them or and let it go and understand that in this period of time that the lies that are being told, and if there are lies that are being told, that they're not lies that are they're not lies in a sense like to you already know the truth, like you know the truth, and so it doesn't matter. And it's like so sometimes as long as you know the truth and then you're really paying attention to how someone lies, if it's somebody that you have to deal with, you know, because sometimes a lot of times we're in those positions, you got to be aware of when the lie is the truth or when the lie is just simply a lie, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what their spirit team's saying, and the OGO agrees with that 1000%. And I can feel God pat me on the back right now going, yeah, that's my boy, you know. That's my girl. That's why we got you out there in front of camera. It's in that sun energy, you know. You can see the sun today. It's like just see the sky behind me, man. It's just beautiful, right? Absolutely gorgeous, you know. And so you're shining right now. You really are. The work that you're doing. Don't stop. Like what God, again, you know, and it is their spirit team. Like it's their spirit team. In a lot of ways, like their spirit team agrees. They're saying that we do tough love. That we're They say that whoever you know whoever you are, that you do tough love. That you practice tough love. That you've learned how to love by being tough, and that you've been hardest on yourself. And they're saying right now, because like their spirit team is saying, no, you're it. Like they're saying you're it. 1,000% hot, hot, hot. It's the sun card, It's like and you're illuminating the paths of many. It's like their spirit team, man. Their spirit team digs you big time. They dig you, and they're kind of like, honestly, I shouldn't have said that. A couple of them are asking if we're hiring. I mean, they're like, hey, no joke. That's no joke. That's what they just asked. They just said. I don't know what your situation is, but if you're if you're looking to hire spirit team members, whoever it is that you're acquiring about, there's a couple of their spirit team members that they're not listening to, who would like to join your team. I mean, you're looking pretty good right now. And so you really are. And what they just told me too, is that they said that they wouldn't do that to be traders. They're saying that they're kind of saying that they would like kind of fall on their sword that way, and then maybe the rest of the team would follow over, and that could get that person to really see the light that you're shining in, and see the lessons that you're trying to teach, see who and what you've become, because they really want them to also shine in that same light, and so that's pretty cool of them. I mean, no, that's pretty cool of you. Good work. Okay. And so, wow, I mean, that's really in the sun, man. That's what their team says. That's what their team says, you guys. And their team loves them dearly. You understand this? Okay. And so you gotta understand that's a big message. That's a cool big message. They just say that they're a person, that the person that you're inquiring about, that empire right now is stuck in a period of stagnance. It's like that empire is, they don't know how to march right now. They're not seeing all the opportunities that they could have, because this is the Four of Cups. We all know what the Four of Cups is, right? And so this one right here is sitting underneath the palm tree, but kind of being too stubborn to see what's being offered to them, the direction that they should go in with their empire, And so it's like, with the Four of Cups, this is Most High, this is God, this is their spirit team right now, delivering this message that we just received to them. So like their team is really trying, they're really really trying, right? And like they're this one, the who they're trying for is really busy, still healing those things right here, because they're still focused on those things in this, see, this Wheel of Fortune that they're working on, right? Bam, with that Wheel of Fortune, and then like bam. And so there's some healing. Sometimes when we come out of a narcissistic stage in our life, I've been there. It takes a while to really heal the things that we have done to others too, because that's like a big part of healing, And so, um, yeah, we have to, it's you. Sometimes we carry some things that are always aspects of ourselves that we know we have, but we can't be too busy focused on that too much, because we have to understand, that's what we've been talking about in the reads earlier during the week, how to turn those swords into the right passion. You know what I'm saying? Well, here we have to learn how to turn those damp emotions into fire. Okay. And that's what God's trying to say, or that's what their spirit team is trying to tell them, because that's what God is, also the message that God is delivering to them, trying to get them to see whoever it is that you're inquiring about, and so, um, and so like, God really is in support of the conversation that we're having here, with their spirit team to our spirit team, like, because we all got to start making better connections in our lives, in the world that's around us today. That one didn't come out though, and because if we don't communicate really clearly right now, we're divided, and divided we will fall, and so that's what happens in all um, human connection. But we have forward movement here, okay? So there is some forward movement here, and with the Fool, and so that again, I feel, like with the forward boat movement here is it's not fast. It's not fast movement, okay? And so it's not. It's cautionary movement, okay? Forward. It's like we've been too fast to run right into battle, in the past. All of us have. Everybody has. Many of us have. We're taught that way. That's what they teach us to do, It's because that way we stumble and we make a lot of mistakes, and we end up in that position where we have a hard time healing the things that we have, the wounds that we have caused, especially because like we have that Sun card, which is like the Leo card, right? And I'm not calling out Leos, not at all. I'm only using that as an example because they say how like Leos, can carry the narcissism, right, or whatever. But I disagree with that. I see it. I don't know. Anybody be a narcissist. A slug could be a narcissist. I mean, shit, fucking cats could be, gerbils. Rabbit could be a fucking narcissist. I mean, everything has that ability to be influenced by those dark energies, because like the individual is not the narcissist. It's the energy that is being allowed to operate inside of them. It's like a parasite. So when we're moving forward, because with that energy, then with that narcissism energy here, but in the reverse on the table, and so it's like clarity's being brought, like, so it's like with this here, it's like self-awareness, okay? And self-awareness is the biggest tool that we all need to totally avoid being a narcissist, okay? And whether you're a Leo or not, it don't fucking matter. If you're self-aware, you're not going to be a narcissist, okay? And so to gain self-awareness, we have to do a lot of work on the things that have happened to us, or the things that we've done to others in the past, in order to turn that card around and experience that growth in the upright position, where we grow away from the things that didn't serve us in the past, and we have those swords in our hands right now instead of stuck in our heart. Right, Roger? Or in the hearts of others. You got me, Roger? Makes sense. And so now, um, their spirit team is telling our spirit team that there will be forward movement for us to do so, with caution, though. Like, with not caution, I guess it's not even cautionary. It's with faith, okay? And so it's like we have to have faith. They're saying right now, they said, have faith in yourselves here. You're hot, hot, hot. Be exactly what you are. Don't change. Like the direction of change that we're taking right now, the direction that we're going in, like the new path that we're stepping onto, our reset, right, which is coming right now, is in a forward direction. Because this chariot came in the upright, and so they're telling us to just have faith and continue to move forward in the direction that we're moving in, because regardless of how whoever it is that you're inquiring on, I mean, this could be your kid that you're trying to teach how to play piano. It's like, well, they're picking it up, is what their spirit team is saying. They're starting to get it, even though they act like they hate to practice and stuff. They just don't like it when it's not going good. But when they start to do a couple little licks that sound good, then they really feel it. They feel like, oh, wait a minute, yeah, this could really work. And so it's like right now you just need to be trusting in the process, right, with the Fool, and allow it to move forward naturally. And those who you wish to follow, they will. Like that's what their spirit team is saying. That if you build it, they will come. And so, good read, you guys. Excellent read. Just stay and do you. And that's what the OGO is saying. Just do you, and don't worry too much about the illusions. Okay, because that's illusions and fantasies. That's other aspects. This is a distraction, kind of away from actually doing the work and putting that 4 cups energy down, right? Is when we get too caught up in um, distraction, and so it's like we've been really able to focus hard, and our ability to focus hard has been a grounding force, like a grounding force in the ethers, and so it's really helping a lot of people um, stay focused, and see like why it's helping others really see the progress that we've made, and that's really helping us to have a really bright light right now as the morning stars and the bringers of light, and so that's how we're going to lead best, and when we lead best, God's always going to offer us the loved ones. We're not going to need to look outside of anything other than what God gives us, right? God's going to put everything in our path that's going to serve us our higher purposes, and that's what's going to make us immensely powerful, moving forward, leading the masses to a place, a kingdom, a heaven, you know, a reality that is built in the image of God Most High. Yeah. We could all love and be happy, and not have any of the horrible things that we see today. And so, I wish you guys that excellent day. I really hope that that helped. I think that's an excellent read. I know it helped for me. Their spirit team has a lot of wisdom. I mean, well, no, their spirit team admits that they dig you, they dig us. And so, like, when I say you, I mean your empire. It's like they really dig your empire. They're like, damn, we should have open borders with them. Why do we have this fucking big wall up here? They're like, fuck, we want to go up there. Viva USA, So they're like, Viva, whoever you are, Viva, no way. And we're like, well, you don't even got to storm the walls. It's not like that. And so they see that, they know that. But they know also that the upper ups in their kingdom right now, in their empire, that the ruler, the emperor, the empress, are under kind of lockdown right now by some dark forces that have them not able to really see what's going on out there on the streets, right? You got me, you guys? And so right now, though, we got them out on the streets going, Viva, no way. They're like, we want to go up there and be a part of that team, and that's their spirit team. And so that's a good message, but there's nothing that is, all that really says is that keep the faith and protect yourself, because you got to be fully aware. Like if you're an empire, as I am, and you want to, as I am, that I am, and you want to form an allegiance with another empire, neighboring empire, and have open borders and all of that stuff, you've got to be fully aware, And if there's an uprising in the streets like that, you got to be thinking, powerfully about whether or not it's safe for you to open those borders up like that and form that alliance. And so that's where we all got to be thinking right now. And this plays out not only in the personal lives of us, the chosen ones, in our personal spiritual empires. It's also on the wide scale. That's why it is that way. And so that's damn good message. Fucking damn. All right, you guys, we're winning. We're doing a good job. Keep it up. Make sure to protect your spirit team. Listen to your spirit team. Keep your eyes out on the streets. Make sure that revolution doesn't spill over on your streets and start causing you grief. Make sure that your your team that you're working with very closely to you, is the ones in your house right now are solid as solid as fuck. And I'm talking about your spirit team, okay? And of course, again, everything plays off. It spills over into the world that's around us. And so if you're sharing your house with somebody who ain't got a good spirit team, well, you know what I'm saying? So peace out, y'all. I love you.